All right, guys, we're gonna start this up. Welcome to the ESO Vodcast. We've just finished up our series on where we dive in depth with all the different classes and go over their class skills and their passives. Today, we're going to be going over the Ask Us Anything review, the Variety Pack 8 that's up on Elder Scrolls Online official website. It's got some pretty cool stuff in there. We'll go over that. We're also going to do, I guess, one final class roundup where we're going to go through not every skill individually, but we'll be going through the 3 trees in each class and kind of picking out what we feel might be the overpowered skill in a tree, or if something feels underwhelming just by reading it. Obviously, we haven't used a lot of these abilities, and we don't know what the numbers are on them, but just by reading it, if something seems overpowered, we'll say it. If something seems underwhelming, we'll also call that out. Then we'll also go over what we might think be the class setup that we would want for our end game rating, as far as the 4 classes we would bring and what we would want them set up with. And then we'll go over some viewer questions. We pulled at least one question off Tamil Foundry's forums. There's a really good one on there that Soma found. So we'll go over that one, and then if there's any questions in the chat, we'll go over those as well.
Yeah.
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 All right, so we're going to tackle this Ask Us Anything kind of like we've been doing the articles.
Variety pack number ocho.
Number ocho, yeah.
Number ocho.
So let me go ahead and switch this over. There we go.
Cool. Magic.
Cool. All right, so we'll let Soma read the first question. We'll just kind of roll through it. I'll post this article in both of our chats, so if anybody else wants to open it up.
Excuse me. Okay, so here's the first question. Oh, excuse me. There we go. Here's the first question, guys, in the Variety Pack 8. In past games, weapons of one type, such as Orcish, Elven, Glass, etc., were all basically the same style. In ESO, will they have different styles, and will there be looks for other kinds of weapons, like scimitars? And the response was, our weapons and armor will have a lot of varied appearances. In fact, every race has its own weapons and armor that will progress in looks. At level 1, an Orcish sword will look one way, and at level 50, an Orcish sword will look very different. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. There are other styles of armor and weapons in addition to the 9 racial styles, unique weapons and armor, different tints for all of the armor, and different materials armor can be made from.
So basically they're saying your weapons are going to look very different as you level, and as far as crafting goes, all the different materials that you put into your crafting is going to make them look different too. So
yeah, I feel like not only does running the stat treadmill of an item really matter to me, but subtle differences in the art and a change of what it looks like goes such a long way. Even if it's the same, even if you kept the stats the same, but you upgraded it with a new look and made it look more badass, people would still like that. I would like that, even if it did the same shit as the bland looking one. Something like that, just changing the art of an item goes a long way. So I love that at every level, it will look different.
I say this,
or
all the
not
time.
necessarily at every level, but
I say this all the time. Games, especially new games coming out, the games that seem to be the most successful games are the ones that provide their players with a lot of customization. People love customization. I mean, everybody wants their character to look unique, to be unique, and to feel like you're actually playing your own character instead of the same character in a sea of other people playing that same thing.
Right.
So it's good. You know, anything that they can do and add into the game where it gives you a little bit of that variance is just good. It's good for the world. It's good for lore. It's good for everything. It's good stuff.
And there's other styles of armor and weapons in addition to the 9 racial styles. So that's awesome, and it's all going to look different as you level up. Unique weapons and armor, that's what I'm excited for, is the unique stuff. I know there's going to be Daedric shit, but what about other... I mean, there's only so many Daedric items. There's going to need to be other uniques in the world. I hope that it goes the route of Diablo 2, where the unique item has some sort of special property that only that item has that makes it
Yes.
seriously unique and fun to use.
Yes.
That
I want a
was
sword
like,
that like drips blood off it all the time. That's what I want.
well, that's art though. I'm talking like,
I know. I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
that's what I see in my head when I think of a unique. Like, it has to
Oh,
not only
okay.
have unique stats, but to feel and look very unique.
Right.
They also say different tints for all of the armor, which is really cool. So that's, again, probably plays into the dyes that you can pick up, different things that you can make and craft. So that's good stuff too.
Different tints. For all the
Different
armor.
tints, yeah. No, it's cool. I'm glad they're having a lot of customization with that stuff. All right, let's go to the next question.
Hope they do good with the uniques though. I'm excited.
Me too.
Me too.
I've had one question on my mind for the longest time. Will we see a huge amount of wildlife or a hunting activity / skill of some sort? Well, this guy has had this question on his mind for a long time. He's an avid hunter. Yes, there will be a large amount of wildlife, and while there isn't a hunting skill, you will be able to get hides and leather from some of the wildlife, which is so there's really no hunting skill. You're not gonna go out and like level up your hunting, but it will be beneficial for you to go out and actually hunt these. I'm assuming a lot of these leathers and stuff are going to be used for crafting, so just another one of those things where you got to go out and get it, or you got to spend money for it and purchase it. And some people are patient enough to go out and farm that, and then there's people like me that aren't. So
Yeah.
you know, I will be the guy purchasing my leathers. That's happening. So I need a bunch of guildies to sell them to me at a discount. Or you're out of here.
For me, I've never been, like I said in past episodes, a gatherer or crafter. I've never been into it. So now that I'm probably going to be doing it for the guild, obviously, for ESO, I don't want to do something that requires a lot of gathering still. So I want to do something like enchanting where I just find it, like, I don't know, or I can just buy it, you know? I don't know. But I won't necessarily be out there hunting, but I'm sure this Alistair A guy, he'll be out there.
You're gonna find
night and day. Yeah,
he's gonna be out there like, oh, there's Alistair. He's up on top of this hill looking for deer to shoot. Like, he's always in the same spot every day. He's got like a pile of dead deer carcasses laying next to him. Like, calm down, Alistair. Hey, you need to take a chill pill, bro.
You need to log off, buddy. Quit hunting digital animals. Stop it. Okay. So next question is from Cody G. I know that one character will be able to visit all 3 faction areas, but I have always been an altaholic. I hear that, dude. Me too. I have a favorite race in each faction, and I would like to play as each of them. I also like to play all roles in an MMO, so I want one character to be a tank, one to be a healer, and one to be a damage dealer. Will there be any way for me to accomplish this?
I love this answer.
Yeah, the answer is the first step is admitting you have a problem. But yes, you can have multiple characters.
Yeah, like, I don't really understand this question. Like, it seems like, no offense to Mr. Cody G, kind of a derpy question. I mean, you can have multiple characters, and you can build those characters however you want to build them.
But here's an interesting. Thank you, Cody, though, because that opens it up to a non-derpy question. How many character slots are we gonna have? I hope at least 4. There better be at least 4.
I can't imagine there being less than 4. I mean,
if
there's 4.
If it's 3 and you have to delete one, or like buy a character slot or something like that to play all the classes.
Now, while I do see there being purchasable character slots, I don't see them making you purchase your 4th slot. I mean, with there being 4 starting classes, I guess, I can't imagine there being any less than that. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Kind of a derpy question, though, of course. I mean, in the past, I've been an altaholic in WoW. I had 8 characters in WoW.
Well, we talk about it all the time. You know,
yeah.
When I started playing Star Wars, I probably played, I don't know,
I'm scared actually.
At least 4 of the starting classes just to get to level 10 and like go to the see what the different sides are and see what I could choose. I mean, I'm the same way. I hate playing a class and getting all the way to max level and realizing, I had a feeling that at level 20 I should probably switch to something that I enjoy more, and then
I know.
you're stuck in that one thing. So
What if I'm kind of nervous that might happen to me with the Dragon Knight? Like I love tanking and I like the DK class. But what if I get to level 30 and I'm just like, shit, I'd rather be a sorcerer archer, or I'd rather be a healer.
yeah,
Nightblade.
but that's part of the beauty about ESO. You only
I can just switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, you can always play how you want to play. You might not, you might not ever use any of your class skills. And I think we're probably going to see that. You're probably going to see people coming up with some build where, it's based more on like the race you're playing instead of the class you're choosing,
Right,
I really feel like you're going to find a lot of people that are probably feeling the same way, that what if, this happens and I want to play differently. Well, you can play that way. You will be able to. You might miss out on one of the special skills in a specific class tree, but you can still play how you want to play.
Thanks for making me feel better, mister.
And I don't think you have to worry about the Dragon Knight, so a Dragon Knight's going to be
Yeah.
so
I'm
sexy.
not worried about it.
It's gonna
And
be
even
really
if
fun.
I didn't like tanking and wanted to switch it up, the DPS capability is there. Okay.
Yeah.
To be honest.
There's definitely a DPS capability in the
Okay.
Dragon Knight tree. All right, let's go to the next question. The next question is by Sam Hotch. Will I be able to wear heavy armor plate mail with a mage's hood and leather boots, or will it all armor be one set? Okay, so I worded that a little weird at the end. Or
They
will it
could have
all
fixed
be
it in
one
editing.
armor set? Let me go ahead.
Zoss could have hooked him up with the editing.
Yeah.
They're like, now let's just throw Sam under the bus and keep it messed up. Okay.
Sam straggled a little bit right there. All right. You will be able to mix and match as you see fit. We do have sets of armors and weapons that confer special bonuses to you when you wear 3 or more items from that set. Also, if you have gained passive skills in certain armor skill lines, you'll also get a larger bonus when you wear more armor of that type. And of course, you may find an individual piece of armor with a bonus trait or enchantment you really like. There will be many choices about how you gear yourself in ESO, with no right choice for everyone. And this is the same thing that goes hand in hand with the skills you pick. The armor you wear and how you do that stuff is the same way. There's armor skill lines and all that stuff too. So
Yeah, and it's been stated before that a full set of armor is 5 slots out of 7. So you could wear a full set, 5, and then like they said, you find an individual piece of armor, a unique medium helmet that you really like, even though you're a heavy armor wearing guy, but you have 5 pieces on already, so why not just put on the medium one with the cool enchantment?
heck yeah, I feel like I would do that. Wear like the heavy armor stuff, and then have like a mage's hood or something like that. Because just hoods are sweet, right? Hoods are awesome.
I love hoods and masks, definitely. I actually was the guy in WoW that didn't like having my helmet and cape on. Like I would normally turn the cape and helmet off.
One of my favorite mods for Skyrim is one that adds cloaks and stuff into it, called like Winter.
I like capes. I like capes and cloaks. I do, but some of them just looked terrible.
Yeah, but the cloaks with like the hoods too that come over, oh, those were so sexy. I love those.
Yeah. Like my Death Knight in WoW, I turned my cloak and hood off, and they were just him in his armor with his long hair, and he just looked like a badass. I hope you can do that in ESO. Turn off the helms and whatnot.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be able to. Yeah, I'm sure you'll be able to turn it off. Cool question though, still. But that's something that they've stated probably a few times now in different articles, that you will be able to wear different armor types, and 5 is considered a full set. So.
Yeah.
All right, next question is all you.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay. Is the famous Nightingale armor going to be featured in ESO, which is a badass set, by the way? If not, is there any chance that we might see something similar to this awesome armor set? Let's be honest here. Masks and hoods are so awesome for stealthy thief / assassin characters. Yeah, I like sets of armor sets and whatnot a lot. So here's the answer. As we mentioned in one of the earlier answers, there will be a wide variety of armor in the game that you can wear. Don't worry, you'll have hoods and masks. As for particular sets, we won't go into exactly what those are because part of the fun is in discovering them. Good.
So they're not saying no.
There definitely is. I mean, based on this answer, I'm seeing that
I feel
there probably
like
is armor sets.
I always feel like when you ask a question to somebody and they don't say no and they kind of tiptoe around it, that generally the answer is yes, in some form or another. So,
Agreed.
There will be armor sets in this that, maybe you'll get a bonus for wearing certain pieces, certain amounts of pieces, or something like that. So, cool. It's cool that the question was asked and they've kind of, again, tiptoed around the answer, but it's still
it'd be really cool. It'd be really cool if there was, this is just a little bit of fun, but if there was armor sets that weren't necessarily full sets, like 5 pieces, but maybe like a 2 or 3 piece set, and then maybe there was like gauntlets and boots and a heavy armor set, and then there was a hood and armor and leggings set in a medium, and then you could put those together. But
yeah,
that'd be really cool. That then for people that want hybrid sets of armor, would be a little better for them, but. I don't know, but are you going to go full on with armor sets and whatnot? Do you want armor sets and full sets of gear, like all heavy, all medium, or all light, or do you want to mix and match and whatnot?
It depends. I'm sure there'll probably be, an armor set that comes up for if I do end up playing the Nightblade, where I will have to have at least 4 sets of this to get the bonus to my crit or something. So I'm sure I'll probably have something like that, but I'll probably mix it up a little bit if I have the leeway to do it. I guess it just depends. I wanna make my character look awesome at the same time while going in and using the right armor and the best gear. So
would you wear the Nightingale armor set?
Would I wear the Nightingale armor set?
It's really good. It's like a frost resist, muffled movement, one hand does more damage.
And there was like a
better illusion. There's like more illusion, or like 12% cheaper illusion spellcast, and it like levels up too. It's it's badass. But yeah, sets like unique sets like that would go a long way in ESO, definitely.
For sure.
You get a good question.
All right. This question was asked by Rowan Marward. That's actually kind of a sweet name. You have teased the existence of veteran points. Can you elaborate on how to get them and what you can do with them? So this is actually a good question because they really haven't gone into detail about what veteran points are and how we might spend them. So they actually give away some good information here. Yep. Veteran points are similar to experience, and your veteran rank goes up as you gain them, like gaining a level. You gain veteran points for accomplishing certain tasks in the game. Imagine you were told you needed to kill a specific NPC or monster in a dungeon. If you're level 50, you'll get veteran points for accomplishing that goal. When you get enough veteran points, you'll go up in veteran rank. There will be lots of ways to gain VP, veteran points. You could gain veteran points in PvP or in adventure zones. Veteran ranks do improve your character's power by granting stats and the ability to equip better gear. Though the increases are smaller and the ones you'll gain through normal leveling, or the ones are smaller than the ones you will gain through normal leveling. This will make it easier for you to visit wherever you want in the next alliance you play, and will make it easier when you're grouping with friends who may not be as advanced as you are. You'll continue to gain skill points when increasing your veteran rank, so it's really a time when you'll be able to broaden your character skills. We'll release a full write-up for veteran points and veteran ranks in the near future.
Awesome.
Yes.
That is really, really good information. I really, really, really like this line. You'll get veteran points for accomplishing certain tasks in the game. Imagine you were told you needed to kill a specific NPC or monster in a dungeon. At level 50, you'll get veteran points for accomplishing that goal. So They say you need to go to this dungeon and kill this boss, and you'll get veteran points. So you've already done the dungeon, let's say, but it was at level 30, right? And a week later, you finally get to level 50. You're doing endgame. You want to level up your veteran points, and they're like, "Hey, remember that dungeon? Remember that boss? Go back in hard mode and kill that boss, and you get veteran points." Just little things like that to give you to do are so good.
Basically, just think of it as like it's a substitute for gaining experience once you hit level 50. So pretty much any quest, anything that you could do outside of while you're leveling, once you're 50, it's going to give you veteran points and veteran ranks. So and they've stated going into the next 50 plus areas and doing those quests too, that's going to contribute towards your veteran points and your veteran ranks. So
and having some kind of advancement system after just your level 1 to 50 grind, not necessarily saying that it's going to be a boring grind, but it's a leveling grind. Like, it's a grind. It sucks, kind of, right? So to give us something to advance and some way to still have fun with our characters and feel like we're progressing with the new system like that, I think that's such a great idea. And of course, they had to have something like that. They had to input something in the game to keep people wanting to play, to progress the character. But I think this is sounding like it's well put together.
And you get points that you'll be able to put in different stuff too. So it's good. And I see Dis saying it's kind of like veteran points, like the Paragon system in Diablo 3. It's similar, yeah. It's exactly what you do after you reach max level. You're still customizing and growing your character past reaching max level. So it's just another way to continue going, which is good. Anytime they can keep the player base around instead of just feeling stagnant after reaching max level, is good. Especially, I think, too, because there is no for sure yet on Adventure Zones being in the game at release, which is kind of sucky. And that's not really kind of sucky. It is sucky.
It is sucky. Yeah. Sucky.
But I think them having a veteran point system like this might alleviate some of that pain, because it'll give people something to do while we're waiting for Adventure Zones. So, and again, I'm not saying Adventure Zones aren't going to be out at release, but they have not confirmed yet that they will be. So let's just all keep our fingers crossed on that one, I guess. Yes, fingers crossed. But a very good question. They gave some more information on that, and hopefully this write-up that they're doing soon will be available to us in the near future, so we can go over that, because it is a cool system, and I'd like to get more information on it too. So,
all right. The next question is, how does resurrection work in PvP? Can I res any player in any situation in the middle of a fight? Example given in the middle of a fight. Does it cost soul gems too? I imagine you might run out of them real quick. And that's from Jenny Balls. And the answer is, you do have to use soul gems to resurrect players who have fallen on the field of battle. Provided you have the soul trap spell, you can always find monsters or players in the area to fill your empty soul gems with. You can also buy filled gems at a premium. This means that battles are actually won or lost. You want to make sure one side can't just keep bringing in reinforcements, causing the battle to last forever. Awesome. So soul gems are going to be really important, Deagen. Soul trap, anybody? I feel like leveling up, you're going to want to have soul trap on one of your 2 bars.
Probably that, or
at least the healer.
Yeah, that, or you're going to be probably like me, where you will be purchasing your soul gems.
Right.
I don't know. So, I guess it depends on how expensive they are and how often I will actually be using them. I would hope that in whatever 4-man group we end up, creating and running with on a consistent basis, hopefully doesn't die that often. But I guess we'll have to see.
It doesn't actually say how it works, though, which kind of sucks. Like, do you have to run up, and is it like a 10-second cast at a range, or is it like, do you have to be touching the character to resurrect him? How long does it take? Can you do it in combat, out of combat?
Yeah, we haven't gotten a ton of information on soul gems yet, as far as how we're actually using them in combat or whatever, but pretty much all we know right now is you need them to resurrect someone on the field of battle. That's pretty much all they've said. So we'll have to see exactly how the whole system with it works, but...
Yeah.
All right, next question. One of my favorite playstyles in the Elder Scrolls games is the Conjurer. I love summoning Daedra and undead to distract and harm my enemies while I batter them with spells from afar. Unfortunately, I find that in a lot of MMOs, summoned creatures are only useful against NPCs and mobs. Will summons be a viable weapon in ESO's PvP? Question by Adam
This is a good answer.
This is actually a really cool question too, because for anybody that was thinking maybe about playing kind of a pet sorcerer with that kind of build, and you're wondering how it might be in PvP, well, here's your answer. We want to ensure that summons have properties in both PvE and PvP settings. Since summoning spells take up a valuable ability bar slot, we give them powerful utilities to supplement their damage and tanking potential. I'll give you an example with the Sorcerer's Summoned Winged Twilight ability. At first, the Winged Twilight simply has a ranged attack. However, the ability can be enhanced in one of two ways. So this is probably talking about the first morph. Option 1 adds a passive aura to the summon that increases the magical regeneration of all nearby allies. That is awesome. Option 2 causes it to cast a healing spell on you when you're low health. In either case, having the Winged Twilight out could be a huge benefit to you and your allies in both PvP and PvE. Plus, she still has her nifty range attack. This is just one example, of course. We look at each summon individually to make sure it has unique flavor that is useful in all game modes. And I promise you that Summon Storm Atronach Ultimate does not have the problem of being too weak in PvP right now.
I love that last line. That's good.
That is awesome. So Storm Atronach OP.
So we've only seen two things that you can actually summon in ESO so far, and that was the let me look at both right now. Unstable Familiar was the first one. That's the melee tanky one. And then the Summon Winged Twilight. Those are the only two, besides the ultimate, which is the, of course, the Summon Storm Atronach. Besides that, though, we haven't really seen anything else you could conjure or raise. There is rumors of a necromancy skill line, though, so who knows what kind of stuff we could do with that. But that sounds great to me. Like the mana regen aura on your pet, that's sweet.
Yeah, and then Tropos mentions the Nightblade summon as well. But yeah, I mean, anytime that they can make the summons feel like they're actually strong and not just like a nuisance on the battlefield or something like that, like something you're just kind of like swatting away, like get away from me.
Yeah. I'm getting owned right now in chat. Tropos just pointed out that Nightblade does have the Summon Shade, and the Dark Elf has their racial ultimate, which is the Ancestor, Summon Ancestor, or whatever. So my bad.
There's a few that we've gone over so far. A few. Someone had a temporary forgetfulness, I guess. But
Whatever.
I
interrupted you, though. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. I love the last paragraph, though. The Storm Atronach Ultimate does not have the problem of being too weak in PvP right now. That just makes me so happy. If you guys don't know what that one is, let us go to that one real fast. Which one is it? This is the Templar one. This is the... Yeah, this is the one, I think. No, this is
You're looking for Sork.
Yeah, it's the last one. So, Summon Storm Atronach. Summons in a mobile Storm Atronach at the target location. Enemies in the area are stunned and take shock damage. The Atronach also casts lightning spells and is extremely durable.
Yeah, extremely durable.
This is the ultimate that he is referring to, and apparently it is a little strong right now. Maybe needs a little bit of a toning down. Either way, I love that last sentence. All right.
Okay. So let's see here. The next question is, Will there be items or spells players can obtain that will cast an appearance illusion over them, making, say, a Breton look like an Argonian or a Frost Troll for a limited amount of time? That's from Jared
And
Denowitz.
before you answer, or before you read the answer, I hope that this doesn't come in the game. And I'll explain why after you finish reading, but I hope
Okay.
that this doesn't get implemented.
All right, and the answer is yes. We have a disguise mechanic in the game, which allows you to equip an item that changes your appearance. This can be used for costuming purposes, or, for instance, to infiltrate the camp of an enemy. There are also spells that change your appearance for a limited amount of time. These can change your appearance in more drastic ways than disguises can. So there is illusion spells.
Yeah. Do you guys remember back in World of Warcraft, there was a item that you could get that would disguise you as like a pirate for a while? Like it almost made you like an NPC pirate. Do you remember that?
Of course I remember. Yar.
I remember.
always wore that skin, you scurvy dog. I wore it all the time.
I remember that item as soon as I thought about this and how frustrating it was. I don't know. A disguise mechanic in the game. I don't know. That's gonna be so trolly and.
It's there. Well, I mean, it seems like it's for PvE, dude. It doesn't necessarily seem like PvP.
What? It sounds like PvP to me. You got people, sitting on the a spot you're trying to capture, and you sneak in behind them with this. You're looking just like him or something. I don't know.
I imagine the camp of an enemy is there's like a camp of NPC enemies, and you put on a disguise to look like them, so you can walk in and not get attacked. That's what I think of. I don't necessarily think that you can stroll in to an Aldmeri Dominion camp in Cyrodiil as a dark elf and pretend you're one of them and not get attacked.
I think that's what it's gonna be like. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it works. I mean, maybe if they really made this mechanic and they thought it out really well, that it could be implemented in a good way. But
I don't think it's gonna be PvP based. I think it's gonna be for PvE and just for running around in town. That's what I think it's gonna be for.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. All right, last question. How will players be assigned to PvP campaigns? Will it be based on their individual PvP skill or history, or maybe on their achievements in previous ESO campaigns? When electing to transfer to a different campaign, is the player able to choose the degree of challenge/skill of their next campaign by browsing various statistics of available campaigns? By Forrester Levine.
Levine. Levine, I guess.
I don't know. I'm gonna go with Levigny, okay? I'm sticking with that. Alright, the answer is characters are assigned campaigns on a character-by-character basis with your own account. You are not allowed to have an Ebonheart Pact character assigned to the same campaign as an Aldmeri Dominion character on your account. We've already known that. There will be campaigns after launch with various special rules, such as higher rank requirements that you can elect to join.
That's
Very
awesome.
cool.
I love that.
So basically, they're saying higher rank requirements, which would lead me to
Pro campaigns.
which would lead me to believe that there's probably a ranking system that they're going to have implemented for PvP. So based on how you're doing in your campaigns, you're probably going to get a rank, and only high rank PvP players will be able to join certain campaigns, which is going to be cool.
See you there, motherfuckers.
Oh,
Yeah.
Are you gonna be the water boy for this campaign, Soma, or are you gonna be on the sidelines cheering us on?
That's what you guys need me to do.
Oh,
I want to fight. Yeah.
Player Soma. Oh, that was so cute.
I'm gonna be tanking, man. I'm gonna be tanking out there.
No, that's awesome. I'm really glad that they just dropped that little knowledge bomb in the last question. It's great. I'm glad that they're putting in a ranking system for that and allowing people with higher rank requirements and higher rankings to join a special campaign. So that's pretty neat, and hopefully people really enjoy the PvP. So a lot of people are going in and going through that stuff. So that's good.
F yeah.
F yeah. All right, and that's it for the Ask Us Anything. Again, this was pretty cool. There was some really good information we picked up from this article. So
This is one of the better ones I've had
stuff.
in a long time.
I feel like a lot of the times we go through these articles on the Vodcast, it's questions that have been answered in different articles that I feel like they're picking out just to be like, well, we've answered this one before, copy and paste, like, and done.
Do you remember when they answered the "Will there be dragons in ESO" thing like 4 times? It was like 4 times in a row. It was like, come on, we get it. There's no fucking dragons in ESO. Oh no, this is a great one though.
Yeah, that one was good. I liked it. All right, so now moving into the next segment, we're gonna go over. Now we'll try to keep this really brief. We're gonna try to move briskly through this, but we're gonna start. Let's start with which one do I have pulled up right here? We'll start with the sorcerer, Soma. So if you have that on your screen, you pull that up.
Okay.
We'll start with the sorcerer, and we'll go through each one of their 3 trees, and we'll pick out what we think is, excluding the ultimate, I guess, what we think is their best ability in that tree, and maybe if there's something that you feel could be a little underpowered or underwhelming. We'll pick that out as well. And then once we go through all the classes quickly, we will, at the end, come up with the Dream Team, I guess.
F yeah.
So what we would want in our 4-man group, we already know someone's playing a Dragon Knight, and I will probably be playing a Nightblade. And what would we want for our other 2 classes in our group, and maybe why we would want them. So, all right, let's start. Soma, what do you think is the best ability in the Sorcerer's Stormcalling tree?
Well, Stormcalling tree, it's the DPS tree. This is your damage dealing. And if I had to pick an ability out of here just to deal damage, I would probably depends on if I was a melee or ranged. Let's say I was a ranged Sorc, I would probably go with I would probably go with Mage's Fury, probably, actually.
Mage's Fury, alright.
I think I'd go, if I was a ranged mage, I would pick Mage's Fury out of all these. I think it's going to be a really good finisher and good AoE damage, which the whole cause them to explode thing is really important. If I was a melee guy, though, if I was a melee Sorc, by far, I would definitely go with Lightning Form.
Yeah, Lightning Form.
For sure. Cool. For sure. But overall, OP-ness, well, that sounded weird, OP-ness. Overpoweredness, I meant. I'd say that I really, really, really like Bolt Escape, teleporting forward and stunning everyone nearby. That is awesome. An AoE stun and your opening up distance.
And an escape, yeah. No damage, but an awesome escape. Really good utility ability where you're teleporting in a straight line and stunning. Very cool ability. However, personally for me, I feel like the ability that I would be using all the time is probably Lightning Splash. I just feel like it's a good ability, and it has a synergy in Conduit, and we don't know what Conduit is, but we discussed what we think it might be. To me, Conduit sounds like it's going to maybe increase the spell power of people in your group. And I don't know. I feel like that could be really strong. I feel like that could be really, really strong.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go to Dark Magic.
Dark Magic. Yes. All right. So, an ability I really like a lot is Daedric Mines. I think Daedric Mines is really cool, and the morph potential of what the mines could do later on is fantastic. But I think that the one that I like the most, well, I guess that Daedric Mines is what I would use, but the one that I think is maybe OP, really awesome, is Repulse. I really, really enjoy Repulse. It's nearby enemies are knocked backwards and snared for a short duration. So once again, it's a chance for you to escape and to slow down your enemies and maybe get away.
And to knock them back. Like,
and it's a
the knockback, the snare, just the sheer. It's not just like a frontal cone knockback. It is a It is around you. You have the 360-degree knockback with a snare. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
I want to see repulse used on enemies near cliffs, and I want people to fly off cliffs. I love that so much.
I already said when I eventually get around to making a sword, all I'm gonna do is drop Daedric mines and repulse enemies into them. It's gonna be the funniest thing ever.
Arathi Basin. I can't remember what was up on the cliff. It wasn't the farm. It wasn't the mine. What was up on? It was high up though. I can't remember what it was. The state. I can't remember what it was. But you could throw people off the cliff with certain abilities. It was the lumber mill. It was lumber mill. You could go up on lumber mill and you could throw people off the cliff, or you could like mind control people with priests. And oh
Yeah.
my god, I had such a good time doing that. And I want to repulse someone off a cliff so badly.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
I 100% agree though. I think Daedric Mines is awesome and Repulse is going to be so good. Alright, so we're in agreement with the dark magic. Alright, as far as Daedric summoning, what do you got here? So
I honestly can't wait for Summon Wing Twilight. And now that I know more about the morphs,
yeah.
it excites me even more.
Yeah, AoE Magicka regen or a heal when the caster gets low, like that's gonna be good.
Yeah,
Especially
I
for
really,
PvP. Holy crap!
yeah, like that's something I would want to use. In terms of OP, the ultimate obviously just seems out of control. But besides that, the potential of Daedric Curse is really interesting. Depending on, because you can only curse one enemy at a time, and because it's an effect that has to expire after a certain amount of time, I think it's going to do a lot more damage than we think. I think it's going, and because it's really the only damaging ability in Daedric Summoning, I think it's going to be really strong.
I agree.
I mean, of course, this is just me guessing, but I think that it's going to surprise us on this.
I agree. I think the only thing that's going to stop this ability from being completely broken is the actual radius in which it'll do damage. It does say all nearby enemies take damage, so how big this radius is going to be around the target that you curse, where the enemies are going to take damage. If it's a large radius, it's probably going to be a little broken, but if it's a smaller radius, then I feel like it's probably more of a thing for PvE than PvP. But I will have to see. I'll have to see. But I agree. I think Daedric Curse is going to be the best ability in that tree.
I think melee sorks, they're really going to love Daedric Summoning. Bound Armor and Conjured Ward and Summon Wing Twilight. All three of those abilities on one of your bars are going to help you so much for your melee Sork. You're going to want that. Absolutely, I think.
Melee Sork would be so trouble with that.
Melee Sork is going to be so freaking fun. Because you also have Encase.
Crazy.
Dark Shards erupt from the ground, immobilizing enemies in front of you with Dark Magic with Encase.
Yeah.
So you can root people that you're chasing. And then you can go ham on them with Lightning Splash. Critical electricity that deals damage every second enemies within its radius, while you're smacking them with your swords.
Yeah, crazy good. You know, I've said it since the day we went over the entire Sork tree and all the abilities that I feel like the Sorcerer might be the most underplayed class that we'll see in ESO, at least at the beginning. But I feel just by reading the trees here and the skill lines that it's probably going to be the most fun to play. There's some crazy
looks really
fun
fun
to play.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. That's it for
the Sork.
For the Sork. Let's go to what's the next one I have open. This is the Dragon Knight. So we'll go Dragon Knight next. And I'll start this time. The first tree is called Ardent Flame. This tree is pretty much your DPS tree. It has a really, really cool kind of like combo stuff with you've got Lava Whip, which causes enemies to become off balance. It's used on an immobilize or stun foe, which is really cool because you have, which is the one, Fiery Reach that can pull enemies towards you. You also can knock things down. I don't know. It's just a really cool like synergy tree. But as far as what I feel is going to be pretty strong with this one, Inferno. Inferno is going to be amazing. It's a toggleable aura that does periodic damage to all nearby enemies while slowly draining the Dragon Knight's magicka. Also, the damage dealt and magicka cost is increased the longer the aura is active. So, imagine a Dragon Knight that really beefs up on magicka and turns this on.
I know.
Holy crap.
It's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be so strong.
Yeah, I think Inferno's badass, but I think in the right hands, Lava Whip is gonna be really nasty.
Yeah, you're gonna be chain CC'd so hard with that ability.
I know.
So
Lava
good.
Whip, ugh. If the right DK activates that Lava Whip right on time when someone's stunned or immobilized. All it's going to take is one quick root or one quick stun of a Sork bolting away, and that one quick stun, all it's going to take is a good DK to Lava Whip you, and then you're down on the ground, and then you can't do shit. You have to wait to get back up, and then who knows how much damage. It's going to be... I think Lava Whip's going to be insane.
I agree. You can see a little picture of the Lava Whip right here too. It just looks neat. It looks like it's going to be awesome. A pretty cool looking ability. All right. Draconic Power. This is the tree where it's a little bit more defensive, trying to make it a little bit more tanky with this tree. But let's see, which is the one that I really liked last time. I really liked Dark Talons. I already remember this ability and how I thought it would be amazing. Now, the reason I say Dark Talons is because if I were playing a Dragon Knight and I were trying to, get CC combos off on targets, I feel like Dark Talons root all nearby enemies, dealing additional damage to enemies that aren't currently affected by it. So if you root them with this and then you Lava Whip them, because they're immobilized, they're off balance and pretty much they can't do anything. So an AoE root that does additional damage to them not being affected already. Now, the reason they put that in there is because we're assuming that it does pretty good damage already, and they don't want people to be able to spam it and just kill everything. Which is good that they put that in there, but I feel like it's still going to be pretty strong. You're going to be rooted, and then you're going to take a crap ton of damage. So I feel like that ability is my favorite from the Draconic Power tree.
I think Inhale is just OP. That's an OP ability, I think. Absorbs health from every nearby enemy, then returns damage to affected foes, depending on the total amount of health absorbed. So you're healing yourself and doing damage AoE.
I feel like that's a PvE
good.
boss ability, though, don't you? Because bosses are going to have a ton of health, and you're going to deal so much damage back to them from Inhale.
Maybe, though. Not necessarily. Absorbs health from every nearby enemy. It depends on what the flat rate that you can absorb is. What if it's only like 5% of their health from each enemy, or 10% of their health from each enemy, and then it's like we talked about this last time, remember?
Yeah.
I don't think I could just absorb a shitload from one enemy. I think it's going to be dependent on how much health they have, how many people are around, etc. But we don't know. We obviously haven't seen a tooltip. We don't know exactly how it works. But just by reading it, it seems really powerful.
It's going to be strong for sure. It's definitely probably the second or first best ability. I mean, if I had to choose two, it'd probably be Dark Talons and Inhale for sure. But definitely an awesome ability for sure.
Could be a flat rate. Could be a percentage. Who knows? Who knows?
We'll see.
We don't know. We'll find out.
We'll see. All right, and the last one is called Earthen Heart. This is, again, it's a very utility-based tree. A little bit of tankiness in here, a little bit of like DPS kind of. So let's see, what one do I remember being really, really, really good? I feel like Obsidian Shield is going to be pretty strong. Molten Weapons could also be pretty good. Again, the thing that's awesome about these abilities in here is that while you're giving this buff to your teammates, you're also gaining double the benefit applied to the actual Dragon Knight. So it might not be that great of a buff to your allies, but it is a buff to them nonetheless, and it's also double for yourself. So Molten Weapons, if you really wanted to go like a melee Dragonite DPS, or Obsidian Shield if you wanted to be more of a tanky Dragonite, or maybe even both if you wanted just, to go one hand in each cookie jar here. So
Yeah.
I feel like both those are pretty good.
I like Ash Cloud a lot. Summon a swirling ash storm, snaring affected foes while increasing their chance to miss. I like that just because it's an AoE around you. I'm assuming that's what it sounds like. Snares affected foes, so people are slowed around you, and it's harder for them to hit you. And because I want to be a tank, it's going to be hard to kill me already. So now they have a worse chance to hit. And there's an Ash Shroud synergy that we don't even know what it is. Ash Shroud?
Yeah, probably like a chance to miss thing for them too, I would guess. I don't know.
Well, Shroud. Maybe a chance for people to escape or some kind of invisibility or who knows. But the potential with Ash Cloud for PvE and PvP is just great. I feel like as a tank DK, I will absolutely have this on my skill bar, and I will use it in both PvE and PvP.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think Ash Cloud's awesome, and I can't wait to see how it morphs. Maybe it'll do damage. Who knows? That'd be great if it did damage or something like that. But yeah, good old DK. I love me some DK.
Good old DK. All right, on to the Templar. All right, the Templars. Wait, what?
I just said I love me some DK, and it just sounded weird. Okay, let's go. What do we have to next? Templar.
We're on Templar. The first tree for the Templar is called Adric's Spear. Again, this is their DPS focused tree here. Now I remember this tree, and this was a fun tree. I like this a lot. Now as far as which one I thought was the best, this might be a tough thing to choose. I feel like Spear Shards is going to be pretty strong, especially like if you were playing a Templar and I was playing like a Nightblade or something. The Spear Shards where I can pick up the spear and we both get a damage bonus from it.
Yeah, that's so good to me.
That would be amazing. We don't know how much that damage bonus is going to be, but I can't imagine it's going to be small because it does save for a short time. So I don't know. I feel like if you were running around like in duo PvPing, just teaming up with somebody, you'd probably want a Templar running with this on their bar. Could you imagine a Templar and a Nightblade running around and just stun locking and throwing Spear Shards? The Nightblade picks it up and just blows you up. Oh my gosh, it'd be so good. I like that ability, Spear Shards.
I think Spear Shards is the cool stability in Adric's Spear line as well. I think. Just that, the whole fact that an ally can pick it up and get that bonus damage, and that it gives you bonus damage too as the Templar. As long as your teammates are on the ball, you're always going to have a damage buff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah,
I really like it. I think Sunshield is really good too, though. For stamina builds, I think Sunshield is going to be freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's going to be really good. Sun Shield's pretty awesome. Again, if you guys don't know what it is, create a damage shield, damage absorption shield with strength based on your maximum health, dealing damage to nearby enemies on activation. The shield also returns damage and is replenished. And is replenished by a small amount each time it is struck by an enemy. If the Templar no longer regenerates, Magicka while the shield holds. So basically, you're regenerating a little bit each time you're hit, also returning damage. Each time, and it does damage on activation to nearby enemies, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The next tree is Dawn's Wrath. This is, I think, a little bit more of their ranged AoE DPS and a little bit of utility with this tree, but I already know the best ability in this tree is by far Backlash. It is going to be amazing.
Yeah. Backlash is sick. It really is. It really is.
So Backlash,
I also
guys.
Like Blinding Light though too.
Well, let's go over Backlash real quick. Backlash stores up incoming damage when the effect ends. Nearby enemies each take some base damage plus the full amount of damage taken by the Templar during the Backlash duration. So we don't know how long Backlash is going to be on for. I would guess anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds. And yeah, if
It's
you're
so
in
good.
PvP and you have someone healing you, like, oh my gosh, this ability's gonna do. This might be the hardest hitting ability in ESO.
If 20 people are just happening to be hitting that Templar right as he activates Backlash, and there's 5 people next to that Templar at the end of that timer, those 5 people are gonna die.
Boom goes the
They're gonna
dynamite.
die.
Like,
They're gonna die.
oh man, yeah, that
There's
ability's
gotta
gonna be
be
awesome.
some damage cap. I hope there's some damage cap.
And the last one someone was talking about is called Blinding Light. Cause all incoming enemy attacks to miss. Sometimes a missed attack causes the attacker to become off-balanced. So not only does it cause all incoming enemy attacks to miss, doesn't say range, doesn't say melee, it says all. Also has a chance to cause the attacker to become off-balance, which anytime you can do that, it's not really helping you, right? If they become off-balance, it's not necessarily helping you because you already can't be hit anyways, but it's helping everybody else around you. So I feel like that might be, at least for the second part of that, more of a PvE thing. But for PvP, Blinding Light, oh my gosh, can you imagine
Causes
how annoying
all
that's gonna be?
incoming attacks to miss.
Oh, it's gonna be so annoying.
Causes all attacks to miss. Like, what if you save up, like, let's say you're a Nightblade, and you have your, I don't know what that, what's the ultimate strike, the single target strike?
Deathstroke, I'm pretty sure is what it's called.
Deathstroke. Imagine you're just about ready to use your Deathstroke,
That
and then they
sucks.
pop Blinding Light, and you have a completely full ultimate bar for Deathstroke, and it just misses.
And I'd be like, okay, well, I'll see you later. Take off.
Nightblade's gonna have to be careful, because that's gonna happen.
Or
That's
you
definitely
just
gonna
pop Backlash right before that, and then blow right back up in their face.
You pop Backlash, they hit you.
And
it
then
stores
you
with the
pop
damage.
Blinding Light right afterwards,
And then-
so they can't kill
yeah.
you, but you already
Yeah.
pretty much killed them just from Backlash.
Yeah. And then if they try to get away from you, you can just use that focus charge to
Yep.
leap right to him and interrupt him. God damn it, I hate the Templar! It's so good!
Templar is going to be awesome.
Templar is so good, man. Oh my god.
All right, last tree is called Restoring Light. This is really the only focus healing tree from any class in ESO, as far as the 3 class skills, or class trees. Now, the one that I like the most in here, I think, was which was the one? Rune Focus? Yeah, Rune Focus, I think, is going to be the one that's most overpowered here. Create an aura of self-protection, gaining immunity to interrupt effects and taking less damage while the effect lasts. So, this ability is going to be pretty much what is going to be on everybody using any type of healing abilities or any channeled abilities or anything like that for the Templar. Just because you can be interrupted, and you also gain a damage reduction while you're in the effect too. So, it's going to be really, really good.
I really like Cleansing Ritual. Instantly removes a negative effect from the caster and heals allies in an area. Allies may activate Purify, removing all negative effects. That, to me, is awesome. Anytime you can get rid of debuffs, like imagine you get dotted up by a Nightblade and dotted up by a Dragon Knight.
Or you're just like slowed beyond all belief.
Or
You're not
slowed.
moving. You're literally you're literally stuck, and you can't do anything. And
Yep,
a
yeah.
Templar uses that ability, and then you can pop the synergy, and boom, you're free.
Yep, I think that is going to be a lifesaver. It's going to save so many people in Cyrodiil. I can't wait. I can't wait to see.
I
how
guess
Cleansing
I'm a
Ritual's
little
gonna
bit
use.
more selfish with the Restoring Light one as far as going Rune Focus, because I only care about myself. Don't
Yeah.
interrupt me.
That's true.
No, I'm telling you guys right now, as far as what we think is going to be the most overpowered class, I guess, at least initial class with your initial 3 skill lines, I think me and Soma are both in agreement that Templar is going to be really strong.
Yeah.
Templar
It's-
strong. All right. The last one is the Nightblade, which is what I will be playing. So I I know what I would choose off the first one. Now, while I think Teleport Strike is going to be amazing and I can't wait to use it, I think the best ability in this tree, as far as the assassination tree goes, is Mark Target.
That's the one you think is the shit?
Yeah, I think that's the she's right there.
That's the shit to you? No way, teleport strike.
No, you're going Teleport Strike over Mark Target?
Teleport strike, teleport directly to your target, dealing damage and stunning them. Yeah, I can close a gap and stun you, and I'm a rogue. That's exactly what I want, right? I think teleport strike is nasty.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing, but I think as far as like a PvP scenario goes, well, like I said, obviously I'm gonna be using Teleport Strike. Anytime you can mark a target and they see that they're marked, oh gosh, if I get
Yeah.
marked in a one-on-one scenario by a Nightblade, I'm gonna be like, crap, like this guy is gonna be doing a lot of damage to me.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much screwed. Like, you can't fight him in a one-on-one when you're marked unless you're a Templar or possibly a Dragon Knight.
Right.
You might be able to stand up against a Nightblade, but
I don't see what a Sork's gonna do against a Nightblade.
except for teleport around and drop mines and try to... I don't know. Like,
Gonna be
I think you're going to run as a sword, but we'll see.
There's gonna be ways. There's gonna be ways. People will figure it out.
Yeah, I feel like Mark Target's going to be awesome, but Teleport Strike is also amazing. It's going to be so good. Oh, I love it. All right, Shadow. Now, Shadow... Okay, so I love Veiled Strike because deal increased damage and stun enemies. It does require you to be in stealth. I think that's awesome. It's going to do increased damage and stun, which anytime you can get a really high damage ability and a stun, like that is so sexy. But as far as what I think is going to be really fun, Path of Darkness is going to be awesome. Plus, it's really the only AoE ability that you have as a Nightblade, so I feel like this would be very useful for leveling as well. Just like drop Path of Darkness on enemies and have them run towards you, and maybe with a bow or something you could just mow things down. But I'm going to go with Path of Darkness, followed very closely by Veiled Strike.
Yeah, I think Path of Darkness is the coolest ability, and I can't wait to see what it looks like. But I really like Summon Shade. I don't know. For some reason, Summon Shade is really cool to me. I like that it debuffs enemies and causes them to deal less damage. I think if in a one-on-one situation, having a pet next to you that's debuffing them in that one-on-one situation, and it's also going to help you DPS too, is just really valuable. And I do see something underwhelming finally. Aspect of Terror just kind of. I know it's an oh shit button escape.
Yeah, we talked about this too. I'm in agreement with you. It's the last active you get too in the Shadow skill tree.
I wonder what it's gonna be like. I can't wait to actually see it. And I feel like people are gonna feel like Shadow Cloak is underwhelming until they actually realize what it's doing, and that it's giving you the chance to not only escape but to set up for stuff like Veiled Strike or for stealth hits, which do extra damage, just like Skyrim. You know, if you were stealthing and you'd attack somebody, you did extra sneak attack damage. Activating the Shadow Cloak will put you crouched into stealth, which will give you more damage. And you're doing it right in front of their face, too. That's the best part. They see you, you're fighting, and all of a sudden you activate it, and you hit them again. And even though you're right in front of them and they know you're there, it still counts as a stealth attack.
I mean, you could literally like perma stun somebody with just Shadow Cloak and Veiled Strike. You really, depending on how much resources it's going to cost. I mean, you could potentially stun somebody until they're dead with this. So with just those two abilities alone, it's gonna be really strong. But yeah, I'm with you. Aspect of Terror is probably the most underwhelming ability that we have read through everything. It just seems like for the last active you get, nearby enemies are afflicted with fear.
Yeah.
It seems like it's an old shit button is basically what it comes down to. But maybe it's better than we're giving it credit for. You know, maybe when we actually get in and we see it in use, maybe it's better than what it is. But it seems a little underwhelming from that. All right, the last one, the Siphoning, which is pretty much It's not a really burst damage tree. It's a lot of dots and ways to regen your resources. So a lot of self healing in this too. It's a pretty awesome skill tree. But from what I would choose, it's either gonna be drain power or cripple.
Drain power just seems like it's going to be super strong in certain situations.
Yeah, in certain. See, that's why that's one of the reasons why I'm like, well, in certain situations it could be awesome. Like think of stealthing into a huge group of enemies in a PvP scenario and just popping out with 100% extra of your attack power. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't say it's capped or anything. It just says transfer a portion of that power to the Nightblade. So however many people you can hit, you transfer a portion of that back. So that could be really incredibly strong. But also cripple. Now I talked about why I think cripple is going to be so broken. Okay, cripple places a dot on an enemy, which gradually decreases their movement speed. So it's probably going to be like 20% over 5 seconds or something like that. I can't really imagine it going over 20%.
Right.
But what happens is it transfers an equal speed bonus to the Nightblade. So you're getting an effective 40% speed bonus.
Yeah.
You're not going to run from him.
That's
With Teleport Strike, Cripple, and like Path of Darkness, you will not escape a Nightblade.
No, you won't. It's going to be really... You're going to have to stand and fight. It's going to be really strong.
It's going to be very strong.
Cripple is pretty OP. You don't even need Path of Darkness. You can just cripple them and get to them.
Like
they're not going to get away.
Cripple, Teleport Strike, Shadow Veil, and then Veiled Strike. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You're going to hate your life. It's like, what is going on right now? I can't move.
It's going to be tough to deal with, yeah.
It's going to be
Nightblade, man. Nightblade's nuts for that one-on-one.
Well, Nightblades are going to definitely be, I feel, the class that is going to wreck face in one-on-ones. But if you look at their skill set, they only have one ability that hits more than one target. And that is your Path of Darkness. They don't have AoE. They don't have any of that stuff. It's all dots, cripples, slows, stuns, but it's all single target.
Yep. They're gonna need to be careful with how they make their character builds, Nightblades. They're gonna have to choose wisely with their their weapon abilities and other skill line abilities, and make sure they put in some AoE. Maybe with like the dual wield skill line, maybe there's like a spin strike or something like that. Or they're definitely gonna need to add in AoE though with other lines. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know how I would go about building my Nightblade. I would almost feel like going nothing but a single target with like maybe some ranged CC abilities that I might be able to keep one person out of a fight while I finish the target I'm on. But I feel like they've set the class up to literally be the target you want for single target DPS. So I don't even know if I would really worry about going an AoE build with how much damage you'll be able to rock on a single target and be able to just kill target, move to the next one, kill target, move to the next one, kill target. I don't know if the AoE would necessarily even be needed for the Nightblade. Shoot, let the Templar do all the AoE. Like Nightblade just burst things.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's it for the class roundup, guys. Those are the abilities that stood out to us, and the very few abilities that actually seemed a little underwhelming to us. If you guys are watching from Tamriel Foundry, let us know what you guys think in the comments for this article and the video below. Let us know what you guys think. What abilities are you thinking are going to be OP in the different skill trees for each class? Let us know. Let us know what you think. We'd love to hear.
There's a few. There's a few OP abilities out there. I know you guys think so too.
All right. So on to the very last part of the Vodcast today. Soma. You are playing tank with a little bit of DPS. Dragon.
Indeed.
That is what you want to play.
I want to be a tank. Yeah, I'm gonna go all heavy armor, Dragon Knight, with sword and board and dual wield. I was gonna go two-handed. I haven't decided what I'm gonna go with for my secondary set. Either dual wield or one hand. I haven't decided. Or excuse me, two hand or dual wield. I haven't decided.
Yeah.
But yes, I do want to be a tank.
With the DPS as well, a little bit of DPS.
With a
So
little
that's
bit of
good.
DPS.
And then I want to play a Nightblade. And I am pretty much going to be like single target focused. I'll be the guy where you're like, all right, Deagen, you're on the boss. Like, just kill him or go kill the healer and then switch to the boss. Like, that's going to be me. So
Right.
I will probably be more focused on PvP, I guess, maybe a little bit earlier on until people get caught up. Because I feel like that's what's going to happen with me and Soma. We're probably going to be ahead of the crowd as far as leveling goes. So we'll probably be in PvP while people catch up to actually PvE in our guild. But I'm going to be doing a lot of PvP, I think, on a Nightblade. And I think it's going to work out really well with that class just because of how their skills are set up and kind of how I want to build my character. But what would be the other two classes with their setups that you would want for the ultimate dream team as far as PvE goes?
Well, I would definitely want an AoE Templar next to us because we're going to be melee, right? So I would want a AoE Templar that uses either dual wield or two-hand weapons. And I would also want him to be able to heal a little bit too, to be honest. Because he's right there already, the guy might as well, do a little bit of healing too.
Well, the beautiful thing about him being a Templar too, with the range damage, is he doesn't have to have a Resto Staff on his bar either. So
exactly,
I mean, he can use the Templar healing abilities, which are pretty strong in and of themselves. So
exactly, and that's what I think would be really great with him. And he wouldn't necessarily have to be a healer. He could use stuff like cleansing ritual or restoring aura or whatever, and just be there to support and do damage with us. While I'm tanking and doing a little bit of DPS and a little bit of AoE, he could be doing all the AoE while you're doing all the single target stuff. And then finally, I would have a Sork, a ranged Sork, either bows or destruction staff, with the healing staff on backup as well, being the main healer.
Okay.
And even if you wanted to be a melee Sork as well and just jump in with a sword, I'd still want the Sork to have a Resto Staff. Or maybe the Templar having a Resto Staff on backup as well.
Now, I agree with the Templar. I feel like the Templar maybe with like a bow and then maybe even like sword and board too, with a sword and shield, just in case he actually has to maybe off tank something in case I pull aggro on something or something's attacking me that I can't hold for too long. With a couple healing abilities on his bar for sure. And then, I don't know about the last class. I don't know if I mean, you kind of want one of each. I understand that. But at the same time, I don't know. Like, I feel like maybe another, like a Dragon Knight, maybe? Another Dragon Knight with a Resto Staff and then like a DPS focused Dragon Knight as well, who could go in and just smash face, and then when we need heals, he could pop the Resto Staff out, because we already have the Templar kind of just AoEing and keeping people topped off with heals. But then if he actually has to switch, he can switch to the Resto Staff. Because I feel like the Dragon Knight's going to do some really good damage too. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that if you switched it maybe, and it was the Templar was the main tank, and the DK was the DPSer, I think that would also be sexy as well. And you could even put a restoration set, like you said, on the DK and have him be the melee fighter, and then you could have the Sork be more DPS based, and you could even make the Sork melee.
Well, Sork's got really good AoE too. I mean, Sork's gonna have some good AoE, especially if you equip like a bow or something like that too. He's gonna have some solid AoE for.
Or you could just put 4 Templars in a group.
Or you could just roll 4 Templars and run in and just backlash everything.
Yeah, you could have everyone can heal themselves, everyone can tank, everyone can backlash. Four-man Templar group. I guarantee there's going to be 4-man Templar groups.
Oh,
We are the 4 Templar. We will take on this dungeon and thwart any foes that are inside. We are the holy warriors of light.
I'm with you. Like, I guarantee there's going to be people that will run Templar-only groups.
Yeah.
I mean, now that these class skills are out and people are reading through these, like, anybody that's played an MMO and has a brain will read these abilities and be like, what the F? Templar's strong. Who's the best class, in my opinion? Templar.
Templar. Me too.
Now, while I'm not saying the other classes don't feel strong, I'm just saying as far as...
Overall.
As far as the tanking potential, the DPS potential, just the overall utility, the healing, like, oh, it's gonna be so good. They're like crazy druids from WoW. Well, I shouldn't say when druids were overpowered because they're always overpowered in WoW, but
yeah,
they're like the druids of ESO. Seriously, they're gonna be so good. No, but neither of us are playing.
yeah, neither of us are playing Templar, yet we think it's the best.
This isn't for sure yet. Okay, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to play a Nightblade, but I'm probably more undecided than I think Soma is probably undecided. I feel like he's a little bit more settled into playing the Dragon Knight.
Right.
And he wants to create like a sorcerer for his first alt and make like a pet build sorcerer. So, but I am probably more torn between my starting class at this point than what Soma is.
Yeah. I'm pretty much positive that I'm going to be making a DK tank. I already know I will because someone needs a tank for the guild, and it's got to be me or Deagen, you know. So I definitely will take the tank route. I just don't know what my secondary weapon will be if I want to have dual wield or two-hand. That's really my only thing. And then
I feel like the two-handed one's the way to go. I love swinging around a big old two-hander.
Yeah.
I feel like the two-handed weapons always look more epic too. Oh,
yeah, and cleave too. Cleave's always awesome, so that's good for tanking. Yeah, I'll probably go two-handed. But yeah, that's another thing. Like the classes, like whenever you think Dragon Knight, you think more of a tanky role, right? And if you look at the skill sets, it does kind of go towards a tank build. Nightblade, you think DPS. Well, what do you know? It goes more toward a single target kind of thing. The Templar. When I think Templar, I think Paladin, which I think someone that's there to support you and to heal you and kind of take damage for you. Well, that's what it does, you know. And they also do AoE damage, which is sick too. And then Sorcerer, when you think of a Sorcerer, you think of trickery and damage and control. And well, what do you know? That's exactly what they do. So the Templar is more of like the Druid from WoW, which they can do everything. You know, it can heal, it can DPS, it can be a caster. It's kind of like that role. Whereas you look at the other classes and you think Sork and you're like, okay, you can put a restless staff and be a healer, mage, Nightblade, that's your DPS guy. Like I just said, the Templar's the kind of like the odd man out that can do everything, and that makes him really powerful in my eyes.
And it's not just like he's a jack of all trades either. I mean, he is like an ace of all trades. Like there's There's no joke about the Templars right now. There's no joke. The healing, awesome. The tanking potential, crazy good. The AoE DPS potential, crazy good. He's got ranged interrupts. He's got a focus charge, which is like teleport strike, but not a teleport. I mean, he's got some crazy good abilities. He's going to be really strong.
But yeah, Dragon Knight for me though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to do a poll. What the stream wants to see the most. Maybe that's how I'll just decide. What do you want to see played on stream as my main? I guess to start. So we'll have
That's
to
actually, you know what? That's not a bad idea. What if we just did that? Have people vote on what we rolled.
I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah, but you know what? I feel like it's gonna change. I feel like 2 hours before, like we're gonna be doing our pre-show, our pre-ESO launch party or whatever, and we're gonna be hanging out, and we're gonna have straw polls set up, and they're gonna choose our classes, and then we're gonna get to character creation, and make what we want anyway.
Wow.
So, yeah. I guess we could do a straw poll to see what people would want, but we'll go with what we want anyway.
No,
Yeah.
we will have fun with it, guys. We definitely will. Someone asked, what do you think would be better, a ranged Templar or a melee Templar? I think I'm going to say melee, just for me because, and again, that is because of backlash. You're going to want to be in there taking damage and doing that. So, again, backlash is going to be a crazy, crazy ability for a Templar tank. It's going to really, really shine as a Templar tank, but I still feel like even while you're soloing and going out and questing, like this ability is going to be so crazy. And it's the third active you get. It's not even the last one. Like, you've got Eclipse and Blinding Light that come after it, so it's going to be so good. I personally feel like the melee Templar is going to be the way to go, maybe with like a two-hander or something like that. But a ranged Templar is going to be no joke either. I mean, there's a ton of DPS as a ranged Templar. All right.
Great.
Well, let's take some viewer questions. I know you guys are kind of already spitting some questions out, and that's fine. And we've tried to answer them if we see them, but it's kind of hard to when we're doing reading and conversing, trying to entertain you guys. So if you have any questions, now would be the time to ask them while we're winding down here.
Okay.
What do you know, if anything, about crafting an ESO? Well, crafting an ESO is going to be interesting. You are going to start out with basically points that you're going to put into your crafting, and you can choose to put them all into one, half into one and half into another. You can be a jack of all trades and put some into everything. So it's an interesting start to your crafting. You're pretty much going to get to choose.
Right.
Which is, it's a neat system, and I'm sure most people are probably going to focus on one or two, but I don't see a whole lot of people trying to get too far into all of them, just because it's a lot to upkeep and have to do everything with all your different crafting and stuff like that.
I decided that I'm just going to be an enchanter straight up. Full-on enchanter.
Full-on enchanting, huh?
Yep,
Okay.
100% enchanting. That's what I'm going to do. Nothing else.
Do you have to choose from the active abilities, or do you get them all over time?
Excuse me, what?
Do you have to choose from the active abilities, or do you get them all over time?
Oh, yeah, they unlock as you level. So you can't just, like, say, I want this ability now, I want to unlock it because I have a skill point. You have to level up.
You have to be a certain level to get to certain actives.
Yeah, like it starts off, like, level 1 for the, if you want to scroll up on the Templar. Let's pretend like you're
I think
playing
you pretty much start with your choice between like puncturing strikes and piercing javelin. Don't you get like both of them pretty early?
Well, so this is how it would work. Let's say you hit your level 1, right? You get a skill point. So Adric's Spear, you'd have the ability to either learn puncturing strikes, and then scroll down.
Sunfire would be Dawn's Wrath.
Yep, and then oh, sorry, there's a delay. No wonder why.
Yeah, and then Rushed Ceremony. So you'd be able to choose between
those three.
Those three early on.
And then after unlocking that, you can start as you use. Let's say you picked Rush Ceremony because you want to be able to heal an ally.
Right.
So as you use that, you'll start leveling up Rush Ceremony, the spell, and as an individual spell, like you'll start moving toward morphing that. And you'll also be moving down the Restoring Light tree itself. So as you keep using Rush Ceremony, you'll eventually level up and be able to use Healing Ritual.
And that doesn't mean you can't go back after you've got Rush Ceremony and still pick up Sunfire and Dawn's Wrath.
Right, exactly. You can get to level 2 and then immediately just put your next level point into Sunfire.
You don't have to keep going down the tree. You can put a point in each one of these, which is probably smart early on to get a point in each one of these and have a little bit of everything. You have more abilities to use initially anyway, so
that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to put a point. My first 2 levels, I'm just going to put a point in the first spell in each one.
Yeah.
Just so I know that all the trees are leveling and that I don't get pigeonholed later and say, well, I could just spend a point in now and start unlocking this tree, but Spear Shards is up now and I really need to unlock it. No, I'm just going to get everything out of the way right in the beginning.
Now,
so that they're all leveling.
Allcur0 asks, any idea how many morphs there are per skill? Will it be just 2 or will they be branching again? Now, this is a good question, and this is something that we've guessed on before in the past, but apparently everything's guaranteed to branch at least once as of right now. Now, the beauty of that is technically they could add another branch to these abilities anytime they want. I mean, they could keep going and going and going, but as far as release goes, they've only confirmed that I think 1 morph per of your abilities. So,
which kind of sucks a little bit. Only 1 morph. I'd like to see 2 or 3 morphs in each spell, or have just more spells in general. But I don't know. I'd like to see more morphs, but I guess 1 morph is okay. But a morph off a morph would be great.
Yeah, I'm with you. Coda asks, I've missed some of the vodcasts. Have they released anything about mounts, horses only? Well, currently, right now, I'm pretty sure the only mount you can get is horses. You have a couple different choices between the horses you can get. And how those horses level is based on what you feed them. You can feed them 3 different things. Can't remember exactly which one it is. It's like apples,
carrots, and oats.
Carrots, yeah. And each one increases a different thing. So one of them will increase your horse's stamina, which allows it to run at a sprint for a longer time. One of them will increase your top speed of your horse, and the other one will actually increase the bag space of your horse. So I guess apparently what they've been seeing a lot of in beta is you'll have a character that'll have 2 horses. One of them will be kind of the one where all you care about is how much bag space it has. So it's basically a walking treasure chest. And then the other one is what people will use as their travel mount, which is generally something of a mix between your speed and your stamina. So,
yep. And you can only feed your horse once a day.
Yeah, once
and
per day.
It's got 50 levels, so it's going to take at least 50 days just to level your horse. So that's really cool.
That is really cool. It is really, really cool. Have they said how lockpicking will be used, if at all, in ESO? There will be random chests you'll find. Probably in dungeons, there'll be random chests you'll find running around leveling, and you'll have to pick those locks. But I don't know about if it's gonna. I don't know. There's no lockpicking skill or anything like that. So
here's a great question from Tamriel Foundry. This is from Chris, aka Altmer77. His question was,
excuse me.
Watching the sorcerer video, I was wondering how a solo sorcerer would be able to cast ultimate abilities. It has been stated many times that you will gain ultimate from successfully dodging and blocking an ESO. However, as a destruction staff wielding ranged solo caster, you will not be dodging or blocking very often. So how would you gain ultimate? Does it just generate during combat? And if so, would it be at a much slower rate, putting the Sorc at a disadvantage because he's not gaining ultimate from dodging and blocking? That's a great question.
It is a great question, and it stumped me and Soma, I guess, a little bit.
Just for a second, yeah, and then you had a really good response.
Well, it's a little bit weird because he does say as a solo caster, so what he's doing is he's probably out leveling and whatnot, and while you might not be gaining your ultimate a whole lot while you're leveling, if you're killing things before they even get to you, which is good anyways, you don't really need an ultimate if you're killing everything before it gets to you, so I don't think you're in trouble there, but with their whole pack mentality and stuff as far as a group goes, I know your question wasn't actually tailored towards groups, but in a group scenario, they've stated multiple times in multiple different articles that everybody will have to be able to tank an enemy from time to time and dodge and block attacks because with how the pack mentality works, enemies will be coming in at different times. It's not just like one Zerg fest, the tank's going to taunt and everything's going to attack the tank. That's not how it works in ESO. There'll be targets attacking different targets all the time. The tank will mainly be there for tanking the boss and interrupting as much as possible and defensive buffs. So you will be gaining your ultimate in group scenarios, but as far as a solo scenario goes, it might be a little bit difficult to get that resource built up. But like I said, if you're not taking damage and you're killing things before they get to you anyways, then I think you're going to be fine.
Yeah, and you're going to be building ultimate from just doing damage in the first place. Hitting someone with an attack will get you a little bit of ultimate. And if you interrupt someone, let's say you silence someone or something like that, you'll get ultimate from that. I don't think you're going to have to worry about it too much. And then someone even said in chat, maybe you'll be rewarded with more ultimate if you kill an enemy without taking any damage at all. You never know. Maybe keeping the space in between you guys and rooting them and killing them without them touching you will get you ultimate. We don't know that. I think that you're going to be safe, though, and you'll be on par with someone that has to block and dodge to gain their ultimate as well. I think that just interrupting and doing damage from afar, maybe, just maybe, there might not be someone gaining his ultimate as fast because they're not blocking and dodging, but I don't think that's the case. And if it is the case, it's not going to be that big of a deal.
Yeah,
So.
well-timed attacks and interrupts and stuff like that, too, will charge your ultimate. So as long as you're playing skillfully, and that's another thing that I just love about this game, is they really do reward skillful combat. So
Indeed.
I think you'll be okay. I think you'll be okay. And someone was asking earlier too about this vodcast. We will be 7:30 every Tuesday night, guaranteed. Every Tuesday night. Most of the time, as long as we have content, we will also provide a Saturday night vodcast as well. However, this weekend we will actually be doing it in the middle of the afternoon on Sunday. Because Tamriel Foundry's website is going down, and we are going to be providing those people going to the website something to do while the website is being renovated. So,
yeah, we're actually going to be going over the three melee weapon skill lines: the two-hand weapon skill line, the dual-wield weapon skill line, and the one-handed shield skill lines. So that's going to be Sunday's show. Going over all three of those and just hanging out, talking ESO. Sunday. Monster Truck Rally.
Rhythmic IRL asks, when you morph your abilities that you want to, can you reset your morphs at max level, or are you stuck with them after you pick it? That's a good question, and I don't know.
I think there's going to be a respecking ability. There's going to be a way to respec.
I would assume, as far as every MMO goes, once you put your points in, you're probably not locked in forever. Now, whether or not that's something you have to pay for, or maybe maybe it's $2 or $3 if you want to reset your skills or something like that, or if it's maybe you get one free respec once you reach max level in case you wanted to change something. I know a lot of MMOs do that. Or maybe it's just in-game currency. You spend.
That's what I imagine.
80 gold. Whenever you want to respect.
I imagine it's going to be something kind of like WoW, where the first time it's free and then it gets progressively more expensive. I don't see real money coming into it at all. Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe they will. Maybe they'll. And if someone doesn't want to, spend their in-game cash, maybe they're probably, I would assume there will probably be some way for people to respec for a few bucks, but we'll see.
This is a good episode, Deagen. This was fun.
It was fun. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Did we miss any good questions? I feel like we got them.
I think we're good. Yeah, we're good till Sunday, I believe. Should be okay.
All right, guys.
Good times.
All right, no, Alter Ego has a question. How does the combat look like? I want to know what you got. I don't know if you guys did Guild Wars 2. Yes, I did. I played a lot of Guild Wars 2. But there you move WASD, and you have to position yourself and your skills right. Also, you have dodge. Well, the dodge is not quite the same in this. You're not, massively rolling away to negate the damage or stuns. But it is a very active combat. You have times when you're going to want to block, where it's pretty much you block, you stagger them, and then you can do a powerful attack to counter. But it's very active combat. It's not target, you tap through your enemies and target one, and then start pressing your rotation. I mean, you are in there, you are actively blocking, you're actively dodging, you're actively using your abilities at the correct times. So it's a very fun combat.
Smoothest combat I've played in an MMO ever, I think, in my opinion. It's the best combat I've felt. in an MMO. To me.
It's more based on combination of skill. Well, it's a little bit of everything. I mean, not only are you're trying to time your abilities correctly, but you're dodging, you're blocking, everything's working together. And not only that, if you're in a group in a PvE scenario and people are activating synergies, like using synergies is going to be so much fun. I can't wait to do that. It's going to be really good. The active combat is pretty awesome. So.
Yeah, I love it. I think like I've said before, it's a mix between Rift, Terra, Neverwinter Online, and Skyrim all rolled into one combat baby. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, it does. It feels a lot like Neverwinter. It does, except without like the whole like dodge roll thing. It's just not quite as.
It's better than Neverwinter. Very similar to Neverwinter.
It's very similar. And Neverwinter, the best part about Neverwinter was the combat, but it's even more smooth than what I felt Neverwinter was.
Yeah, it's an improved system on Neverwinter, and Neverwinter by far was the combat. That's by far the best part of Neverwinter. So
yeah,
the combat's fantastic.
All right, guys. I think that's going to be it for us, though, right now. We've already had quite a long vodcast.
Yeah, this is like an hour and 40 minutes, I think.
It's okay, though.
We tend to have long episodes, guys. I hope you guys don't mind. I know there's a lot of stuff that's like, 5 minutes long or 30 minutes long, but we normally have like hour and a half long episodes.
I've had people contact me on YouTube and through Twitch, though. They like the long vodcasts because when they're at work, they want something that lasts a while that they can listen to. So,
right.
We're the long vodcasts. They're the long podcasts out there.
Yeah.
So if you guys like long discussions, long talks, and stuff like that, gives you more content, gives you more stuff to talk about, more stuff to listen to. So. But we appreciate everybody that came out, all the people on TF that are watching there. Thank you guys so much. Again, I am Deagen TV on Twitter and twitch.tv/Deagen. I think Soma's channel is the one that's embedded right now on TF. And he is SomaJT on Twitter and Soma Plays on Twitch. So if you guys have questions or anything that you feel might be good and you want them included in the next vodcast, send it to us either on Twitch, direct it to us on Tamriel Foundry, or send us a Twitch message. And if it's a good question, something we haven't answered a million times, we'll be sure to add it in. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday nights, and we'll see you on Sunday afternoon.
Yep. Bye, guys. Take it easy.
Dragons? I saw a dragon. Sorry.